Hey guys, so I just want to make a really quick video about growing your social media and working with brands and all that stuff. Not saying I'm an expert by any means, but I can tell you how I did it, or at least how I got to the point that I'm at right now. So let's go ahead and get started because I don't want this to be too long. So we'll start with growing your social media, your personal page. We're going to do your personal page. We can do growing your business page in a different video, but this is going to be like personal to you and working with brands like you, not your business, just you, okay? So first thing, most important, you need to post all the time. So be ready because it's a lot. Like you've got to stay on it. Some days I find myself getting stressed out, like what am I going to post today? I need a picture, I need something, and you just have to get creative with it. Like stay on top of it and keep posting. Like if you want to seriously be like into social media, be a brand ambassador, be on PR lists, you have to be consistent. You have to. They're not going to want to invest in you if they think, hey, maybe 3 weeks from now even, this person might not be posting anymore. Another thing is be ready for criticism. It just comes with the trade. So just be prepared because not everybody's going to like you. I will say I found in the grooming industry, I don't get too many mean comments or whatever. I think people kind of realize like, you're going to see me at a trade show or something, girl. So anyway, I wouldn't worry too much about getting like mean comments or people being mean to you. A lot of people like are probably not going to, and if they do, it says more about them than you. So that's just something to keep in mind if you want to grow your social media. You are probably gonna get negative comments here and there, but I find it's few and far between. Like I very rarely, like every once in a blue moon, somebody says something kind of snooty, and I'm like, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, main thing, if you want to be into social media, just be ready to work. Be ready to come home from a long day at the shop and have to make a bunch of posts or make a video or edit a video that you recorded during your day or, whatever. Maybe you got to do live feed or whatever it may be. And that's another thing, diversity. I would put your face everywhere. And that's something I was going to talk about later anyway. But you need to put your face out there. There's so many accounts and so many, we can look at the accounts and you can see like, oh, that's a really good groom or whatever. But if you want to grow your social media and especially grow your reputation with brands, you need to put your face out there. So that way if you go to a trade show, you get recognized. You're not walking around with one of the dogs you groomed with your portfolio strapped to your neck so they don't know. Like you need to be recognizable is what I'm getting at. So, yeah, like I said, be ready to work long hours, put your face out there. And you can use hashtags. Hashtags are really big. Now I've heard rumors about like things changing with hashtags, but if a brand has a hashtag that they use, then I would use their hashtag if you want that brand to notice you. And yeah, interact with other accounts. This is like a really, really big one. Like you need to it's not all about you. We got to support other people too. So go on other people's pictures, comment, tell them, like if you like somebody's groom, you like something about it, go tell them that. You need to go let them know like, hey, I really like how you did those ears. If you're thinking it, you need to go type it to them. So if I'm ever scrolling and I see like an extra cute picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute because of this. So give people compliments, like let them know who you are. And like I said, you need to push yourself in people's faces. Like I said, be on multiple platforms. Like I do YouTube, I have a Facebook, I have Instagram. I do have a Snapchat, but I don't use it. I don't see that used as much in grooming. But if you see a platform in grooming that people are using, get on there. You need to be on there. So if you don't have an Instagram, you need to get on Instagram. First of all, Instagram is one of the easiest places for companies to notice you. So if that's something that you're interested in, tagging companies on Instagram is like one of the easiest ways to get them to know who you are, okay? So the last advice I have for just growing your personal social media is to listen to everyone. Hear what everyone has to say. One of my favorite sayings that I learned from one of my favorite YouTubers, Peter Mon, is that you need to take what you need and leave the rest. So if somebody's giving you advice and like most of it sounds like bullshit, but there's like one little like golden goose egg in there and you're just like, you know what, that's pretty good. Take that and leave the rest. So if the rest doesn't suit you, it doesn't fit your needs, it doesn't suit your life, leave it. You don't need it anyway. So if somebody can put out really, really good haircuts, but maybe their handling is not as good, like they don't know how to work with the dogs, they get frustrated with them, whatever, learn about their hair cutting. And I'm not saying to clarify, I'm not saying ignore abuse or anything, but I'm just saying if somebody handles the dog differently than you would do it, don't just dismiss them as a groomer in general. Their technique may still be fine, but take what you need. Take the haircut tips, or if somebody does a haircut, they leave the feet different than you like your feet, don't do the feet that way. If you don't like how it looks, then don't do that. You can take what you need and leave the rest. Maybe they have a really good philosophy on life, but their grooms aren't as great. Then listen to their philosophy. You don't have to follow their grooms. Take what you need and leave the rest. That's it. That's my last advice for you. Talk to everybody. Don't just listen to my advice on growing social media. There's a lot of people out there growing a lot faster than I am, and it's talk to them. Ask them questions. If they're rude, they're rude. That's their problem. Then go talk to somebody else. The worst thing they're going to do is not respond. If they respond, I'm assuming people aren't going to go, respond rudely. And if they are, then that's their problem. You know what I mean? So reach out, talk to people, ask questions. All right. So last thing is working with brands. So if you want to be noticed by a brand, number one, you have to tag them in everything. You have to shove yourself down their throat. Be like, here I am, this is my grooming, this is what I'm doing, this is my style, this is, I started with Instagram stories and with my picture posts or whatever. Tag brands in everything. If I pick up a pair of shears and I use it on that dog, that brand is getting tagged. If I'm using a pair of Andis clippers on a dog, the Andis is getting tagged. If I'm using Wahl is getting tagged. Now, do try to separate the two. So if I like the Andis Pulse ZR2, but I'm also using a Wahl Bravura, then they get separate posts. Because they're not going to want to post you when you have two of them next to each other. Because you could be promoting the other brand too. So make it exclusive. Make it for them. That was actually the second thing I wanted to touch on, was that brands that you really like, you need to go above and beyond for. If you want to work with them, I've been asked a lot, because you guys know I work with Hydra. I've been asked a lot about how I've started working with Hydra. I put myself in their face. I tagged them. If I'm using their Ultra D matting and finishing spray, then guess what? You take a picture with the dog next to the Ultra D matting and finishing spray. Half the time, I don't get a perfect picture with the little bottle next to the dog. I'll still tag Hydra. You can use their hashtag groomed with Hydra. Tag them in your pictures. They'll feature you on their story. And this isn't just Hydra. This is for anybody. Barlow Bose does it too. Chanel Paw Mat. All these companies, if you tag them in your post, if you have a paw mat on your table, you need to be tagging paw mat. You picked up, I have this Andis blade case, so Andis gets a tag. All my blades in here are Andis. Andis gets a tag. So make sure you are tagging these companies. Put yourself in their face. Okay, that's the only way they're going to notice you. There's so many groomers out in the world. You got to set yourself apart. So put yourself out there. All right, so we talked about using their hashtags. Another thing is to interact with their posts. Go like their posts. Go comment on their posts. Leave comments that make you stand out. And honestly, a lot of these companies I see, they respond to every comment. They have a marketing team that responds to comments. So go on there and comment. Put your face out there. Say don't say hi, notice me, but that's essentially what you're saying. They post somebody else's groom, wow, this is such an amazing groom. I love how they did the face. That looks so good. Go on there and interact with them. Put your name in their face. Don't let them forget who you are. You got to put yourself out there all the time. You got to stay on top of it. Seriously, I promise you that's the key. So when you say oh, somebody's so lucky, they got to this point, whatever, not necessarily, because you have to stay on top of it. You really, really have to push. Okay, so be ready. And the last thing, I'm going to touch on this one more time because this is so important. Put your face out there. You want to be identified. If you want to be into social media and you want to be into working with brands and all that stuff, you got to put your face out there. If you want to work with Andis, maybe they'll want you to model with a clipper down the road. Here's what I think of. I think of social media influencers. So YouTubers, big YouTubers, Jake Paul's and the Tana Mojos and Shane and Jeffrey and all these people, what are they doing? They're putting their face out there. You know what all of them look like? If you were walking down the street and you saw them, you know what they look like because they put their face out there. You have to be identifiable. That is so, so important. You're not going to be recognized and asked to do awesome things if they don't know what you look like. You know, you could be walking past Todd Shelley and he doesn't know to be like, hey, you know, this is, you know, I'm Todd, because he's never seen your face, but maybe he's seen your grooms. You know what I mean? Same with Wall and Andis. If you want to be recognized, you have to put your face in their face. And that's so important. The last thing I'm going to finish up with real quick. I put this at the bottom of the list because I think it's important, but also I'm not seeing a lot of this in the industry thus far. If you get handed a contract, go over it with a lawyer. Okay, now this is something I got from my business advisor. If somebody's handing you a contract, it's benefiting them. Okay, and that's just the reality of it. That's just how it is. So you need to go over it with a lawyer, and it's okay if it benefits them, but it should work for you too. So go over a contract with a lawyer. My thing, I won't work with a brand that stops me from working with other brands. So that's one thing I always discuss. Like before I started working with Fresh Groom, I was like, does this mean that I'll never be able to talk about like other shears? And they said no. So that's why I chose to go with them, because I think of myself as somewhat of a review channel. So I'm not going to work with somebody, like I'm not going to work with Andis and then be like, all right, now you can never touch another wall clipper. Like, well, maybe I want to review a wall clipper in a month from now. So I'm not going to take a deal like that. And I'm not saying Andis does that. I don't work with Andis, so I can't say. But you know, Hydra's never said you can't ever use another shampoo. Like, they've never said that, you know, so make sure the conditions work for you. Okay, like I said, I don't want to be tied down to one company. Maybe, you know, Hydra is like my favorite thing in the world right now, but how do I know 5 years from now something better is not going to come out? You know, and not, I think Hydra would keep up. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying though? Like, so, like, if I worked with Andis and, you know, 5 years from now a new company comes out and they're just the freaking bomb and I want to work with them so bad, I don't want to be stuck with another, like, with a company. You know what I mean? So, be careful with contracts. I personally, because I feel like I'm going to get this question, I've never been handed a contract for anything that I've had to sign. And if I was, then I would go over it with a lawyer, because I'm not an expert and I don't know how to read contracts to understand them and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over them with somebody who does. So that's my last bit of advice. I hope that some of these tips helped you if you're thinking about putting yourself out there and getting on social media more. It's not as scary as it seems. My biggest fear whenever I went into it was like, oh, people are going to be mean to me. Like, what if they leave mean comments, or what if somebody I don't like sees it, or whatever? Okay, this is actually something I was talking about with Steph earlier, because there was something about, like, she was talking about, like, okay, you know, there's certain people she doesn't want to see her videos. I understand that. I felt that way. But I told myself they would never see my videos. And you know what? They have seen my videos. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have. They might even be watching this one. But guess what? They're not talking to me. They're not messaging me. They're not reaching out to me. They're not driving by my house. They're not doing anything. What are they going to do? What are they going to say? They wouldn't have anything. But even if they messaged me, they were like, you have a YouTube and I hate it, I'd be like, cool, like, why are you watching it? You know what I mean? So, like, if somebody's, like, watching my videos and they, like, hate me, that's their problem. Why are they wasting their time? They're giving me views. That's really stupid, honestly. What a waste of their time to spend 13 minutes sitting here listening to me ramble on about social media when they don't like me. What a waste of their time. That's all I can say. So don't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about people seeing it, that you don't want to see it, like I said. I know they're watching my videos, and guess what? They're not doing anything about it. So whatever. There's going to be people that don't like you. That's just the truth of the matter. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But don't let that hold you back. And don't let that stop you from being the best that you can be. Okay? Don't let fear hold you back, because that's what it is. Every person I've talked to, and I feel confident saying every person I talk to, fear is holding them back. Fear has held me back. Fear has held back everybody I know from, because I should have started doing YouTube 10, 15 years ago, no freaking lie. When I was in high school, I wanted to do YouTube so bad, and I do think about it. I'm like, what would my YouTube career be like right now had I just done it? I can't answer that because I didn't do it. Okay, so I'm telling you, if you don't make videos, get out there and do it. If you make videos and you're feeling discouraged and you don't want to make them anymore, too bad. If you think 10 years down the road or when you're laying in your deathbed that you'd be happier knowing that you went out there and put yourself out there and made videos, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? People aren't going to watch them? Well, good. Then they can't be mean to you, right? Like, that's what worked for me. I was like, okay, well, if I, put videos out and nobody watches them, then at least I don't have to worry about criticism or anybody being mean or unkind or whatever. You guys get it, but that's just the way it is. So put yourself out there and don't be afraid. And don't get out of your own way, okay? Get out of your own way. That's what we're going to end on. I love you guys, and I hope that you are having an amazing Thursday. I think it is. I got a text message that was pulled up on my watch. It's Thursday. Okay, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.